Hello everybody, Adrian Plass here,
Yes, and Bridget, hello.
and welcome to number 299 in Sounding the Shallows.
Yeah, what a week. I mean, do you remember, Adrian, when we started doing all these recordings, we called it No Shore in Sight. And that's how it feels, really, doesn't it? That, who knows what's going to happen, what's going to happen by next week when we talk to you. It's a strange time. And quite a lot of people I know have just simply stopped listening to the news, just tried to find some way of distracting themselves from what's happening in the world.
There was talk on the radio this morning about people rationing their listening to the news.
Yeah.
So they listen to once in the day or something.
Yeah.
Because it is very oppressive, especially when the pinnacle of it is irrational. It's very difficult to think where to go with that.
Well, I know one of the things you've been doing, I mean, you were telling me that you found you've been listening to music, but not as a distraction exactly, but as something that you can lose yourself in. It's Rachmaninoff you were listening to when I came in this afternoon.
A reason to be legitimately feeling something.
Oh, that's
very
interesting.
Important. And I mean, I've got a bit crazy about the Rachmaninoff Second Piano Concerto, but it's partly because it's a film clip. I expect lots of people have seen it, and the pianist begins with her hands above the keys, and she is about to remember. She has no music in front of her. Something on which this huge orchestra will depend for a long time. And her hands are like this, and it's her job to start it all. And her hands go down, and suddenly you can see the muscle memory taking over, and she's into her music.
And do you think she gets lost in it? Do you think in that period of time she's away from all other stuff to do with what's going on and what's...
It's very hard to say. I mean, I know every now and then she looks up at the conductor.
I hope so. I think he'd be a bit, or she would be a bit fed up if she wasn't.
Dead on time.
Yes, of course.
But I don't know. I mean, clearly she knows it in a way that perhaps we don't understand what knowing something means.
Yeah.
But and the music itself is... Rachmaninoff has such a variety of moods, but they don't run into each other in the way that some pieces of music do. It's like listening to somebody thinking,
Right.
and you want to say, "What did you think then? What did you look at then? What happened then? What made you you do that?" So yeah, music is a very good thing sometimes for me.
Yeah. But it's not just music, is it? I mean, I think ever since I've known you, it's also been poetry. I don't mean just the stuff you write, but the stuff that has inspired you.
Well, writing is good. I mean, if I have a problem with one line of something, it really helps me at night, because I lie there going through it, and I relish it. I think, oh, I've got that line that I've got to get right.
If I'm honest, I don't think it helps you sleep, Mr.
Probably
Plass.
doesn't, no.
But maybe it's exactly that something that absorbs your whole mind for a little while means that other things just have to stay out for a while.
Well, people who have listened to lots of our stuff will know that there are 3 poems I know by heart. Well, there's a few others, but these 3 are very important to me. One is by John Donne, one is by George Herbert, and one is by C.S. Lewis. They're very different, but they're 3 facets of being a Christian, of the journey of discovering and failing and working it out and understanding more about it. And certainly, when I was in hospital last time, I lost, as I've often said, I lost it and had to put it together again. It was broken in me, and I had to make the lines come back together again, which was a very, very strange thing. But I've made a list here of some poems, and poems that you and I read, which I'm afraid are all mine, because I only have my book here.
I don't write poems, Adrian, so that's fine.
Oh, you you write a lot. I mean,
Or poems, I
but
don't.
it begins in the introduction with something I'm sure some people have heard me talk about being very nervous about going to a poetry group at college when I was training to be a teacher, or training not to be a teacher, I think, probably nearer the truth. And I was really nervous, and I didn't take any poetry with me of mine because I was frightened that it would be rubbish. And when I got there, they all had kind of German tags and Latin tags in their poems. And I did feel I was trying to look as though I knew what was going on. And all I could do was do what they did, which was at the end of a poem, you could either say, or you could say, I think I'd like to hear that again. So to test it, I went back the next time with a poem that was not a poem, and I have it here. It is not a poem, remember. I'll read it to you very quickly. I've called it Our Times. Like the merchandise of Wells, the wise men state, chemical can put up the speed. In part grassland, in all the fold, swirling ooze contains exotic bed of beastly fossil. There's a sign chlorine is included in nature terminology, at once correct the tiny slant, literary corporal garlanded in Ireland, luck begins to change for a literary lady. Wine drunk to noisy Elsinore accompaniment. Beetles learning to ride horses. It's a plain sort of oyster. Now you know what that is, don't you?
I do.
Would you like to tell people what it is?
Yes, it's another obsession of yours. It's the Times crossword, isn't it? And it's part of the
It's
the
all
last...
the across clues.
Oh, all the across clues.
Yeah, in the Times.
And I
crossword,
think that
yeah.
writer of that particular crossword would be amazed to discover that it had inspired you into having a go at all sorts of different types of writing.
Well, it quietened my fear of my actually a sort of snobbishness about poetry.
Well, it was a bit of a lovey group,
I think they
wasn't
thought it was quite good.
Yes, I know. Well, I mean, there are some places where I suppose, you don't want to write anything that makes any sense for fear that that's boring. And I mean, I think, you can find that in theatre groups. You can find that, where you just... you're not quite sure who you are, so you adopt different tones and different ways of being. But actually, it has been. I mean, I remember. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I'm going to ask you to read one, but go on.
Well, I was just going to say that all those years ago when you were so ill, it was the tiny poems that you started to write that gave me hope that there were, and I know that many people write at a time when they're very unhappy. I remember us listening to a young songwriter, Adrian, just quickly before you go, and he was such a happy guy, and he got a new baby and a lovely wife. Do you remember they'd come along to hear him singing, and all of his songs were unbelievably unhappy.
Yes,
and afterwards she said to him, "Why are they so miserable when you're so happy?" And he said, "Well, I can only really write them when I'm unhappy." And one of the things I like about the stuff that you've written over the years is it's a genuine mixture, isn't it? I think you said about your book, Silences and Nonsense, it had a bit of everything.
Well, it's a mixture of quality too. I mean, some are very
Doggerel is
poor.
one of the and little snippets and bits and bits.
I don't mind writing doggerel, but no, some of it's rubbish. Look, read the one called Our Times. I've given you the page number there. It's on page 5.
No, Our Times is what you've just read.
Oh, sorry. Getting there. Page 80. Page 80. That's right, yeah. Sorry about that. We could read that 5 times.
I could have read it again. I could have read it with a different
You could.
emphasis.
Page 80.
Page 80. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh, you want me to read this one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel quite strongly about this one because you wrote this very specifically for me, and
Well, you
then
say
you
I do.
denied it. No, I do say. But Interestingly, I will read it, because I've found that many women, I don't know about men, but many women, no, actually, somebody who listens to us said just very recently that this particular poem reminds him of him.
That's
too.
right, he did, yeah.
So maybe it's not just for women. It's called Getting There. Once I've cleaned this house up properly, I honestly think I'll get somewhere. Well, once I've pulled every single piece of furniture and used an abrasive cloth with strong stuff on it, I think I'll come to grips with the rest of my life. Once I put everything into separate piles, and each containing the same sort of thing, if you know what I mean, I think I'll manage. Once I've written a list that includes absolutely everything, I think the whole business will seem very much clearer. Once I've had time to work slowly from one item to another, I am sure things will change. Once I've eaten sensibly for more than a week and a half, once I've sorted out the things that are my fault, once I've sorted out the things that are not my fault, and once I've spent a little more time reading useful books, being with people I like, getting out into the air, making bread, drinking less, drinking more, going to the theatre and adopting a third world child, eating only free-range everything and writing long letters. Yes, once I've pulled every single thing of piece of furniture right out and cleaned this house up properly, once I've become somebody else, I honestly think I'll get somewhere. And I know that's how I feel still quite often, that feeling that if I could just get on top of some part of myself or something outside myself, then I might be of some use somewhere. And certainly this person who wrote to us just recently had said they'd read this poem, and he said that feeling, if he could just whatever it was he needed to do.
It's very difficult to believe that you as you are acceptable. Look, we both just look.
You don't mean me. You meant one,
no,
didn't
go
you?
to page.
You said it's very difficult for you to believe. Anyway,
I know for us. For
yes,
anyone,
I know for anyone is
yeah.
what you meant. Yes.
Just turn to page 56. We worked with a lot of children in care at one time or another, and have known a lot of people who are haunted by their past. And this is one that we haven't read for a long time, actually. Page 56, it's called Poor Sad Child. I hope we read it right, because it's for two people.
I'm nearly
It's all
there.
right, 56.
Right, okay.
We'll have a go. And this is sort of addressing a poor sad child. Poor sad
Poor child.
Poor boy.
Poor girl.
Don't run. Don't run away.
Don't hide.
We
We're sorry.
love you. We let you down.
We left you.
We settled for too little
We were frightened.
of your pain.
Pain is better buried, we thought.
But we were
so
wrong.
wrong.
We were so
leave
wrong.
To leave you wondering if tears can ever really dry.
We threw our lot in with the half alive. But now
we've come to find you.
We can face you
We
now.
so long to see your face.
We want to see
you smile, dear child.
Dear child. Be our child. Our child again. We've brought a friend.
A friend who changes things.
He's with us now.
His name is Jesus.
He can heal you.
He can make you smile again.
You'll love him.
We love him.
He loves you so much.
So much. So much.
Poor, sad child.
Oh, Adrian, it's such a long time since we've read this, and there's something about this that tunes into where everything is at the moment. You know, in the name of Christianity and in the name of God in Israel and some strange Christianity in the US, the people, one of your lines in one of your poems is, God so loved the world, not the saved world, the world. And I think about these people in Iran and increasingly in other places who are hiding away, terrified and being smashed to bits in the name of something. And when I reading this for the first time for forever, I'm thinking of the children that we've known over the years and people we've known later on who were children, who got somehow smashed up inside. And because the name of Jesus has become so toxic, it's all gone wrong. Because actually, the person of Jesus went down every road possible to meet people where they were, and not expecting change until change happened, like Matthew said, come on, or Zacchaeus, I'll come and have tea with you, or whatever. That meeting people where they are. Gosh, that did bring back a lot of things for me, reading that.
Well, let's have a silly one, just to
well, there are a few silly ones in there.
Certainly
what
are.
you thinking?
Well, there's one. It was odd reading that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, very. I think because it feels
it's more upfront than we would say normally nowadays.
Yes. Yeah.
No, this is about football, and most people will remember how Manchester United, most of the team were killed in a plane crash. Was it in?
Well, if they don't remember it, Adrian, they will remember hearing about it.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the men killed was a man called Duncan Edwards, who's reckoned to be one of the best footballers who never made it because he was, unfortunately, lost his life. And I wanted to write something for somebody who worked at Manchester United, who did me a great favour. And this was it. It's called United in Glory. Duncan Edwards, once the best, went early to his well-earned rest to find God nursed a secret dream of managing a football team. Seeing Munich, that's where the crash was, seeing Munich made God sad, but keen to rescue good from bad, he couldn't help but be delighted. Most of Manchester United turned up at the pearly gates, good old Duncan with his mates. They were offered free salvation, pending full negotiation, contracts stating that the fee would bind them for eternity. Transfer bans were just as well. The only place to go was hell. Wages well worth playing for the love of God for evermore. And they practiced kicks and moves and passes over heaven's shining grasses. God laid on boots and kit and towels, but vetoed all professional fouls. Aware the team was not complete, he said he'd need to slightly cheat. So doing the pragmatic thing, he put an angel on the wing. At last, God's team lined up with pride to play Old Nick's infernal side. And watched by several billion souls, heaven won by 13 goals. Duncan, who'd put 7 in, asked God what made him sure they'd win. Said God, no miracles required. You did it all, a team inspired. Besides, I knew that as a rule, hell recruits from Liverpool.
Yes, have you actually read that in Liverpool?
No, I haven't, no. We've only really got time for one. I'd like you to read one poem to finish with because we ran out of time. And we've used this one a lot over the years. We did we had a group thing once that didn't go too well because we didn't have enough leaders. A lot of people came, and it was called I See You in the Distance Still.
That's right.
And it was for people who were Christians or were still role-playing being Christians, but in some way had lost it or had been hurt by it. And it was a very difficult thing to handle. But that line, I See You in the Distance Still, came from the poem we're going to read now, which is called
it's actually called Once I Walked With You, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Forgive me, Lord, for once I walked with you, but when I found some level ground, I pitched my tent, and there I stayed on comfort and on pleasure bent. Yet when they asked why I was settled there, I looked them in the face and said with conscious pride, my Lord, my friend, my Jesus brought me to this place. Yesterday, by means that you will know, I learned that birds in parks are tamed by being fed. So saddened was I by this dreadful truth that when I went to bed I cried and could not rest nor sleep. But look, the dawn has come. There is no time, no cause to worry or to weep. I see you in the distance still. And as you walk, you turn your head and smile. And I only wish to follow you. And I shall try to be content if I am never more allowed a place to lay my head or any pleasant level ground on which to pitch my foolish tent. I think this is a time, isn't it, Adrian, where so much is chaos, that so many views, so many contrary things, so much violence, so much that just thinking what I set out to do was to follow. And maybe I need to look and just see Jesus in the distance. Not all the talk and all the stuff and all the things that kept us safe in the past.
Well, I'm certainly, as you said earlier, I'm sickened by, I'm not sure if we did or not, by the toxic nature of the word Jesus nowadays, because it's been so poorly represented. But there will be people, I know there are people, who want it back.
Yes.
And when I say it, I mean whatever it is that got lost, who want it. I know there are, because I meet them.
And sometimes, sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, sometimes when things are out of kilter as much as they are at the moment, like you were saying about music, like we were talking about poetry, sometimes there are opportunities to say what really matters, what really mattered. Is there something that I can get back to or move forward to or leave? I don't know. It's possible, I think.
Worth a thought, though. It certainly is. Anyway, see you next week. Bye-bye.